Okay. There we are.
Live.
Live.
This is
Okay.
so fun.
All right. So this is what you got to do for the Instagram folk. Instagram folk people. We need you to go to our YouTube, join the chat. We can answer your questions and do all of that kind of good stuff. Let me back up a little bit.
You look fabulous.
Do I? I'm still trying to get us
set up.
It says it's waiting for us. It says it's waiting for us. But
joined. Ooh, I see some friends already joined up.
We got people that are already joined. It says it's waiting for us. Okay. We got 12 people here. We got 5 people there. And let's just go on and rock and roll. I'm going to go to the other one.
Go for it.
So we can get you guys some questions answered. Thank you. Thank you, Elisa. Thank you, Elisa. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. I get in trouble because people say I don't say their names right. I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can.
I know, it's like pronunciation. I wish I had it all every time my name was
Melissa.
Has been mispronounced.
And misspelled.
Oh.
Apollonia.
All of it.
Apollonia.
That's right.
Apple. Yeah, Appelonia.
That's why it's easier just saying apple, right?
Yes. Hey, Tammy.
Lady T.
How are you? Ooh, that's an ugly.
I love Lady T's
We
wig.
love Lady T.
She's got these sexy wigs.
We love Lady T.
Looking like Barbie.
Okay, so here we go.
Here we
go. There we are. Here we are.
Live.
Okay. Okay, we got a first question. We're going to do a couple of things here. We are going to answer your questions that you're going to be sending us. And we're also going to be talking about this, having some reminiscence about the 6 guests that we've had already on Apollonia Studio 6.
Can you believe that?
Jill Jones, Rashia Whitlock, Andre Simone, DJ Vlad,
Amanda Wiss.
And Amanda Wiss. So it's going to be fun. We're going to stay with you guys for about an hour. And I think this is going to be the first of many of these because our fan mail episode did extremely well. We want to thank you all because fan mail did really, 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 really well.
Yeah, that was fun.
Okay, so the questions are piling in.
All right.
So let's start. What did you think of Sex Shooter when you first heard it? That's from Johnny Delgado.
Johnny. Hey, Johnny. That's a great question. I loved it. I remember hearing the demo with Vanity's voice, Denise Matthews, and of course I was, nervous, intimidated, and my first thought was, well, what is a sex shooter? And I thought, well, like the 6-shooter pistol.
Yeah.
So I was thrilled, but I was a little nervous about it because it was pretty sexy.
And also, little known fact, I'm sure that many of you big fans have heard Vanity 6's version of Sex Shooter. And Prince, there is a difference. It sounds similar, but then there's a difference. So when Apollonia came on, Prince made a conscious effort to change some of the chords, change some of the things so it fit more the Apollonia character versus the Vanity character, where the original sounds a little more rough and grungy, and the Apollonia version sounds more playful and it's almost the difference between a pole dance and a burlesque.
Yeah. Wow. What a great analogy. Thank you, Mr. Seth.
That makes sense.
That makes sense to me.
All right. So we're going to go to our next one. All right. Hey, everybody. Revolution 86 from New York City. Johnny Rock from Chicago. All right. Wow. Will you re-release the Apollonia 6 album in digital form?
We are hoping to do that.
Yes.
I am doing my best to work with the powers that be to have the music released, and we're keeping our fingers crossed. So say a little prayer. I hope we get it out for you all.
All right. Okay. Um, will you re-release the Apollonia? Oh, we did that. Sorry. And that was from Ooh Charlie 000. Thank you, Charlie. Okay. Nuclear Magenta.
Ooh.
What do you think of the Bangles version of Manic Monday compared with the original version of that song?
Oh, I love it. It's very Beatle-esque. As some of you know, I like to say that I brokered that deal. I was a big fan of the Bangles, Susanna Hoffs, so I told Prince that I met this great group that sounded like the Beatles, and the song that we both co-wrote, Manic Monday, would be perfect for them. And of course, I like my version a lot. My version, to me, I wanted to put a steel guitar, because to me it sounds very country. And I remember when I told that to Prince, he kind of rolled his eyes, because like steel guitar would have been nice. But I love the version that the Bangles did. It's iconic to this day. I love it.
All right. Okay. Did Deja Green wanted to know, did Prince ever plan for Apollonia 6 to open for him on the Purple Rain tour?
Yes. Yes, he did.
Yes.
Yes.
And if you read certain books, I think it might have been our friend Dwayne Tudall's first book. He was speaking to Jerry Hubbard, who became the Times bass player after Jimmy Jam left, Terry Lewis left, and actually he talks about the fact that Prince had approached him about the guys playing behind Apollonia 6 for the tour. So, my question is, this is Revolution 86. Can you please get Susan and Brenda? I feel like they don't get a lot of love as far as getting them on interviews and hearing their stories from the Prince camp. Thank you so much.
I agree. I'd love to have them, visit in the future. I know that, we're a family and we're always in touch. And I do agree that it would be nice to have them out. I know that Prince had plans for us, for Susan Moonsey, Brenda Bennett, and myself. He had more music. He had a movie in the capacity of Purple Rain for us. So I agree with you. And we're going to do our best to bring them all out.
Rock and Roll Fan wants to know, will we see the Purple Rain uncut film in 2024, or was the director's uncut destroyed? Because I really hope not. Well, we
Yeah.
kind of know the answer to this question. The answer to this question told
Bye.
by Albert Magnoli is that the scenes that were not included in the film no longer exist. So, at least that's as much as we know right now.
Didn't he say they were destroyed or something?
Yeah, they were destroyed.
By the studio system?
They were destroyed, and the all of the stuff that you would usually get. You know how like they've done a couple of Purple Rain re-releases, and there aren't deleted scenes and all that. Well, according to Al, the deleted scenes do not exist any longer. So that's why you haven't seen them. Now they may magically appear. We never know.
Yeah, that's true.
What may show up, but we know from Albert that
It may not be possible.
it may not be possible.
Right.
All right.
Coming from him.
Yes. Hey, Mark Bennett. And then Melissa.
Mark Bennett.
Yeah, Mark Bennett.
Hey, that's our friend
Is
Mark
that our
Bennett.
guy?
Yeah.
Yay. Melissa Costello wants to know, will there be a makeup line in the works? You guys look great, by the way. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
You're a sweetheart.
Yes, we've been putting something together, Mr. Seth and I. So
Yes.
great things take time.
Yes.
But we're putting together my brand. I've mentioned recently before, I've never branded myself in the U.S. Clothing I did McCall's before, patterns, but it's time to really do the makeup and skincare and perfume and all those fun things that all of you get to do out there. It's so great to see people in our industry having content like that, products. So I'm excited to do that myself.
Yes. All our friends on Instagram, remember to go to YouTube to ask your questions, because that's what we have up and that's what we can see. Okay, so go over to Apollonia Studio 6 on YouTube, subscribe,
Subscribe.
and ask us questions. All right. All right, so the next question is from Johnny Rock. Are there any unreleased A6 songs in the vault that we haven't heard?
Oh my goodness. That's a good question. There's quite a few songs that didn't quite make my Apollonia 6 album that ended up on Sheila E.'s album, Oliver's House, Next Time, Wipe
Like
the
the
Lipstick.
lipstick off your collar and the glamorous slide.
Right. But I don't know if there's anything there. I'd have to talk to Susan and Brenda. We're not in our 20s anymore, so we have to like confer to one to one another to try to remember things from the past.
All right. Charlie wants to know, he has another question. Will you ever recreate your initiation scene in the lake ever again, but in a swimsuit?
Heck yeah. I would do it in the nude. They'd probably be like, oh my God, at her age, we'll pay her to put some clothes on. No, seriously, I would do it again. I don't know if I'd do it in the nude, but, and I wasn't really nude. I had, my bottoms on. But I really want to do it again. And it would be fun to invite my friends out there so we could all do it together.
Yes.
That'd be great.
The
Sure.
big initiation. Okay. So, Johnny Delgado. Hey, Danielle. How are you?
Danielle.
We love you. Johnny Delgado wants to know the famous question that I thought most people knew now. What does the 6 stand for?
Oh, my goodness. My own thought was, I'm Apollonia 2 here today.
So it's the booby count.
I think so. I think that's what it is.
It's the tite count. So that's what the 6 is.
Tetas.
It's the tata count. Why isn't The Beautiful Ones not more well known? It wasn't included on his greatest hits compilation, and I never heard this song until I saw the movie. Powerful scene in the movie. That is Rajon Lau. I hope I said that right.
Rajon.
Yes. Well, Beautiful Ones is my favorite song. I think Beautiful Ones is a masterpiece. And I don't know why it was never a single.
I don't know. That's a very good question because every single song on that soundtrack is a masterpiece. You can't really say that one of them is a B-side. So that's a good question. I don't know. It was probably the record company, maybe, lack of promotion, planning. I don't know. I never knew that. To me, it's just, they're all classic.
Yeah. Yes, all of them are, but I love Beautiful Ones. And he wrote that about vanity. He said that he cleared up that mystery in an interview that he did. I want to say with Ebony Magazine.
Yes.
That was a song about vanity.
And he played that in San Francisco, Oakland for her,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And he told a story about that she knew she was the finest.
The finest ever.
Yep, that was something.
All right. James Combe wants to know, did Prince have race cars and motorcycles? Well, we know he had a motorcycle, right? A couple
Right.
motorcycles.
He had a couple of motorcycles. I know that he liked cars. He had an old, I don't want to say if it was a T-Bird. He had an old classic car that he kept for many years. I don't even know if he was like racing cars. I actually asked him to race stock cars with me before because I like racing. I mean, I don't do it, I'm careful. But he kind of just rolled his eyes. But he had a Bentley, I know, a baby blue Bentley before he transitioned. Very similar to the Tiffany color blue. Yeah, I didn't know that he had that. Otherwise, I would have asked him to take me with him for a ride.
All right. Deja Green wants to know, this is an interesting question. If you could have starred in a movie alongside Vanity, what would it be about?
Oh, you know what it would be? It wouldn't be about, it would be Pretty Woman. I think we would have been a great team in that movie. Pretty Woman. The Laura Giacomo and then Julia Roberts. It would have been, because they were such great friends in the movie. And they stayed together and, they had great camaraderie and they suffered together and they were going through the same stuff in their lives. Yeah, I think that I love that movie.
That would be good. That would be really good.
What do you think?
On the darker side,
Oh God, what?
I could have, on a darker side, and probably a more controversial side, I could seen something like
Oh,
single purple female.
I knew you were gonna say that one. I knew it. Single white female. That was it. So who would have been
The
the
single purple female.
who would have been the stalker? I would have been stalking her.
Think so?
Oh heck yeah, because she was like, the queen, and I came after, so I would have been like, I still have the Rolling Stone magazine put away of hers in prints.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Dwight Simmons wants to know, will you release your unreleased songs, Red Light Romeo and Fire in Your Eyes from Falcon Crest? Those were the best songs.
Well, thank you. I know that Falcon Crest is now streaming. There's been new deals made with the show and networks, and that sounds like a great idea. Why not? It'd be great to do remixes, and you'd be the first to dance with me with them.
Yay. I love that stuff too.
I know you do. You're
I
so
do.
cute.
Fame and Fortune was my favorite though.
Mr. Seth knows, I mean, that's the one thing, is that you are a living, like, purple encyclopedia. Prince, Vanity, The Revolution, The Time, the Apollonia 6. If I want to know something about myself,
All right. What's next? Okay. Purple Sis wants to know, did you ever regret not working with Prince professionally again after Purple Rain?
oh my gosh, we were about to work again before he transitioned. So yes, that's very tragic for us, because he gave us hope. He gave me hope, made all these plans, and then he became ill and left us. So yes, that's regretful. Yeah.
Action Jackson. Hello, I
Hey.
hear from you. You're from Detroit. Yes, Action Jackson. I'm from Detroit. Highland Park, actually. 6 Mile and Woodward kind of deal. So for all my Detroit people, you know where that is. Let's see. What was it like working? This is David Smith. What was it like
Hi,
working
David.
with Eddie Money and Ray Parker Jr. in the music videos for Shaken and the Other Woman?
Oh my gosh, Eddie Money was a blast. He was so cute, very shy. He said he cast me in the video because I reminded him of his former girlfriend, who was Latina. We shot till about 3, 4 in the morning, 5. It was exciting. I drove that car. I actually raced that cholo short. Orale, vatos locos forever. I'm quoting Giorgio now. And that was fun. Ray Parker was really a blast. I was a huge fan of Ray Parker's. And at the time I was dating David Lee Roth. And I invited him on set. So he shows up, and I'm making a video with Ray Parker. And I'm wearing a silver bikini and a cape.
And a black cape and
And
thigh-high boots.
Thigh-high boots,
Yeah.
dressed like Vanity. And Dave comes over, and he just starts to create, this crazy atmosphere. It was so much fun. And Ray Parker looks around, and he's like, what the hell is going on here? And why is David Lee Roth on my set? But that was a blast. To this day, I'm still friends with Ray. We ended up hanging out in Vegas, going to the fights. He flew the plane. And I was married at the time to Kevin Bernhardt. I told you this story. And we get to Vegas on this little plane, and Ray's flying it with a co-pilot. And of course, Kevin and I were experts at morning sickness, motion sickness. And man, we got really sick. So we landed, and we, both filled up little bags, got sick. Oh, it was terrible. And then Kevin gets out, and he gets sick on the tarmac. So he vomited, right? And then I look at that, and I'm ready to vomit too. So we're both just like heaving. And then Ray Parker's walking away from us. And I said, Ray, look out, because he's going to walk into oh, this is so gross, the puddle of vomit. And then Ray Parker, instead of looking down, he goes like this. He goes like, because we're at the airport.
So he looks up.
Up at the place. And then Kevin and I just started laughing hysterically. So that's my Ray Parker story, and I stand by it.
All right. Mega Little Doc Carter.
Wow, cool.
What people are known for and what they really like to do are often different. When it comes to artistic endeavors, anything that might surprise us?
About?
Is there anything that you're known for, you're not known for, but that you really like or would really like to do?
Oh, I like to sing more in Spanish. Porque hablo yo soy Latina, soy de padres mexicanos, mi papá es de la Ciudad de México, mi mamá es de Guadalajara, y yo nací aquí en Santa Mónica, California, y quiero continuar de cantar en español. So for producers out there, let's do some stuff in Spanish. That's what I'd like to do. It's not my native because I was born and raised in Santa Monica, California, but my parents taught us, the first words in Spanish were like, comer, sí, no, mamá, papá. Yes, Spanish music.
I got parts of that because I don't speak Spanish, but I got parts of it.
You do now.
Yeah. All right. O Felix wants to know,
Felix.
are there any behind-the-scenes stories on the Apollonia 6 short film, and why was it never released?
It was never released because we never really finished it. And then Prince saw the unfinished product and didn't like it. And it was just never finished. We have great stories. We had Ricky Nelson was in it, and I invited my friend Buck Henry. Shooting was spectacular. We had a casket on set, and I jumped inside of it, and little Susan was like, "What are you doing, Apples?" And I said, "Just make sure I don't get locked in, and don't leave me alone in here." So I jumped into that, which was kind of creepy, but I'm an actor, so I just wanted to see what it felt like. I'm very curious about things. Another story that I have, which was really exciting, was once we finished the video, I had lunch with Buck Henry in West Hollywood. So we're at a restaurant, and we're sitting there enjoying lunch, and he's telling me these great stories, right? Great comedian, writer. And he says, I'm going to leave now. And he gets up and he leaves, and he writes me a little note. And he folds it up real small, Buck Henry, and he hands it to me. He says, "Don't read this until I leave." It's really serious, right? So he goes out, and I see him, and I wave, and then I open it up, and there's nothing on the paper. It was blank. All this anticipation. I was so nervous. What did he write? The meaning of life and everything. It was just blank. He got me. Buck Henry. That's my story.
All right. Sherry Moffat wants to know, Sherry Moffat, what's your favorite scene in Purple Rain?
My favorite scene in the movie. Oh my goodness. My favorite scene. I'd have to say, oh my gosh. I'd have to say every scene that Prince performed, where he's performing, because that's spectacular. To be on a set and to see someone go up there and to do that, and to do it that well. And I mean, to really think about this, he produces a movie about himself before he became really famous. What's that about?
Yeah.
So, yeah, his scenes.
Kim wants to know, how tall was Vanity?
Oh my gosh, well, she was taller than me, like everybody else. She must have been I would guess 5'5".
About 5'5", yeah. She was about 5'5".
I'm like 5'2" and a half.
All right. Sheldon Johnson says Blue Limousine is my favorite. Dwight Simmons, Slimmons. Dwight Slimmons. Slimmons. I'm a huge big fan of Chandler Massey from Days of Our Lives. So you have to get him on the show.
Oh, okay.
All right. Will you and Seth collab and make a song together? That's Doja Cat Jackson.
Oh, that's funny that you mentioned that, because just a little while ago, I was listening to a tune that I like very much, And it made me think of Mr. Seth and I working together. Mr. Seth has a beautiful voice. You know, his voice is really beautiful. We like to sing and hum along when we're driving, but that would be a great idea. Thank you. I would welcome that. Would you?
Of course.
Yeah.
Tom Prather, well, hello,
Hey,
you two.
Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Tom did our great intro for the Apollonia 6 podcast. Thank you,
Graphic.
Tom, the graphic.
Genius.
All right, Megan, were you the lady talking in Spanish in the unreleased song Dopamine Rush?
Who did that
I
one?
think that's Prince.
Oh.
That wasn't you, though.
No?
No.
Wow. That wasn't me. Who was it? Damn it.
Hi, Apollonia and Seth. This is Nino Mura. Hi.
Hi.
Nino Kimura. I remember you.
Hi, Nino.
How did you get into surfing, and what was your favorite island to visit in Hawaii?
Oh, my goodness. I live part-time on the island of Oahu. I'm very close to Waikiki. I've been there for about 25, 30 years. And it's inevitable not to surf. I was born and raised in Santa Monica, California. I was conceived on the Santa Monica Pier, my mom said. So I could still remember my first time in the water as a baby. They just tossed my ass in, you know, Mexican people. They just, avienta el pinche agua. But in Hawaii, I surf. It just releases a lot of tension and it keeps me in shape. And I'm not afraid of sharks.
I am. James Cone has another question. What was Prince's favorite hobby?
Making music. He dreamt music. That was his obsession. I've said this before. When God created Prince, he composed the most perfect song because Prince is music.
All right. Let's see. Retro Arcade Music Man wants to know. He said you look amazing.
Thank you.
Did you ever go through a short hair phase?
I cut my hair kind of short, just around here in the 90s when I was married. And then I put like reddish auburn color in it. But I've always wanted to have super short pixie hair like my mother. She had the Gigi haircut in the 60s. But I'm so small, I told Seth I'd probably look like a Q-tip.
Yes, she has said that. Yeah. Hey, everybody in Instagram land. If you have questions, come over to YouTube, put them in the chat room, and then we can address them. Thank you for watching us, though. If you just want to watch voyeurism, you can watch us here.
What was that?
All right. Okay, Johnny Rock, some interview suggestions. Taja Seville, Susanna Melvoin, Kat Glover, and Robin Power. Her interview was a hoot. Love all the purple princesses. Well, I have a little bit of a secret. Johnny Rock, there are some people in that list that are in the can.
Mm-hmm. It's a surprise.
You'll see soon.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
K&M Lover, I loved the Slide Like an Egyptian episode of Sliders that you were in. Was that a lot of fun to make?
That was a blast. I didn't sleep because I was in Vegas doing a public appearance signing autographs. And I flew in and I that morning to my place in Hollywood. Didn't even sleep. I remember I laid down in my bed for about 10 minutes, took a quick shower, went to set, and then I woke up because I was so excited to be on this show, Sci-Fi with Jerry O'Connell, and it was great. We used green screen, blue screen. I've never done that before. It was a fun show. I got to play Dr. Mubarak, Dira.
Kevin Lamar wants to know, are you two a couple? She is my sister wife. I am the will to her grace. That's all
Thank
we'll
you.
say.
I know, we would make a nice couple, wouldn't we?
Yes.
We have beautiful babies.
All right. Action Jackson wanted to know, did we see the Prince interview when he was a little kid by the newscaster?
Yes, I posted it. It was so beautiful. I couldn't stop watching it. And then, of course, I got choked up, just thinking back of what he was thinking back then and how involved he was and politically involved as a child, looking out for teachers.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I just was like, oh, he might have to get braces.
Yeah.
Because I heard that.
Yeah,
I was
he
like,
so
oh,
cute.
bless him.
He was so cute.
I
The
can't
faces.
talk, but
The
I'm just
faces,
saying.
he
it
was
like,
making. The same faces,
I love
though.
it. Yep. Okay. Danielle, our girl Danielle, wants to know, Apollonia, ever consider writing a book of photos, just like unreleased stuff we've never seen? You have so many amazing photos solo and with Susan and Brenda.
Yes.
Yes, she does. I have seen them. I have seen the photos. I've seen the photos from Playboy. I have seen photos of Apollonia 6 in gowns in a mansion. I've seen them all.
Thousands.
And yes, she needs to do it. And
Yes.
we're going to do it.
We're doing it.
All right. Revolution 86. How was it like recording Take Me With You in the booth? Was Prince there guiding you through their vocals, and were you nervous?
Yes, yes, and yes. I probably needed Depends, Pampers. It was exciting. I was a sponge. I told him I wanted to learn everything that I could from him, and he was very patient at the beginning. He was very patient, and it was exciting. I couldn't believe, this is Take Me With You.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he wrote a duet, that was the very first time he ever wrote a duet for anyone. And the fact that he did it, for the two of us, to this day, I still pinch myself. I'm still like a geek fan.
Okay. And then the next question is, somebody asked, are you still in touch with the Rams cheerleaders, former Rams cheerleaders?
Yes, yes, I am. Well, we stay in touch with social media. I love my little sis Rundle and Mary Gear. We just so many great girls. I'm looking forward to seeing them again soon. I've got stories about them too.
And
That would be a great show.
Yeah, hopefully we will have a LA Rams cheerleader episode of Apollonia Studio 6.
Yeah.
That's something we've talked about, so that should be fun. Deja Green wants to know, who's your favorite musical artist?
My favorite. I have many. I mean, I love the Beatles. I was a big fan of David Bowie, and Prince knew that because he asked me who I loved, and he started singing "Loving the Alien," and he did this. He was like, "Loving the alien." He started pulling on his neck, imitating Bowie. Beatles, Bowie, of course, Prince. I love Anita Baker. She's probably my favorite female vocalist, the tone of her voice. And I love Michael McDonald. I love the tone of his voice, and he knows that I've been on him. I'm like, whenever I see him, I'm on him like a cheap suit. I even invited him to go surfing once in Hawaii.
And if you slow down Anita Baker, she sounds like Michael McDonald.
Yes, we saw that, right?
All right. Were you married when you filmed Purple Rain?
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
Okay.
And then later divorced.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. That one's... I'm just surfing through the questions because a lot of them are repeats. So I just
Okay.
want to make sure we get new ones here. All right.
What size is my penis? Oh my goodness, really?
Kev TN. Hi, just wanted to
Kidding.
say that he loves your song Same Dream.
Me too.
That's Kevin from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
All right.
When you think about that, you having the same dream over and over. It sounds like a nightmare.
All right, let's see. Any Eddie Van Halen stories while dating Dave?
I met Eddie. I had the
And
pleasure.
that was from Tom Prather.
Oh, Tom.
That's Tom.
Eddie was a sweetheart. I've got to meet Eddie and Valerie, well, the whole, all the boys, because of, dating Dave, and I went to see them perform once, and backstage, and he was just sweet. He would always sound like, and Dave would always make a comment. He goes, "Don't they sound my boys like choir boys from Catholic school?" So he was a sweetheart. He introduced me to Valerie, and they had just started dating. And I remember I was just a huge fan of hers. So, yes, he was very nice.
All right. I see another question from Kevin Lamar. Mr. Seth, what was it like meeting Prince? Well, it was unbelievable. It was long overdue. He had been friends with my mother, Malia Franklin from Parliament Funkadelic and Parlette, since the 80s. Him and my mother had been friends. Actually, the first time my mother met Prince, I was with her. Prince was opening for Rick James on the Fire It Up tour. And we met, my mother was really good friends with Rick James, was very, very good friends with Rick James back in the day. My mother and my Aunt Jennifer. My Aunt Jennifer was married to a Motown producer by the name of Jeffrey Bowen, who had a hand in Rick's signing. And actually, my mother and my Aunt Jennifer had a hand in Rick's signing too. That's in my forthcoming book, Mothership Connected. But that's when we first met Prince, 1980. It was Ann Arbor, Michigan. I think, no, it was Toledo, Ohio. We met him in Toledo. And then somehow my mom became tight with Des Dickerson. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that Prince hired a lot of staff that in security that used to work for Parliament Funkadelic. So that was kind of like the synergy. And so when I finally met him in 2016, 2 months before he passed away, he walked in, and it's true. You've got this little man, and he walks in, but when he walks in, the energy changes in the room. So he came right over to us, and because it was Apple, Susan's sister, and Jill. So he came right over and sat on the couch and started talking and was hugging everybody. And I was sitting across from them. They were on a couch. Apple was in a chair right next to the couch, and I was right across from Prince. And it was so funny. I always say that he was kind of looking around me. It was like he wasn't looking at me. It was like he was looking through me, but not looking at me. And so when I finally got up the nerve, I said, "Okay, Seth, now's the time." So I just stood up and held my hand out, and he stood up and held his hand out, shook my hand, and then I leaned in, because of course I was being careful because, I just didn't know. So I leaned in, and it was loud because we were in a club. It was loud. And I said, "I'm Malia Franklin's son." And he didn't hear me at first. He said, "Who did you say?" Or maybe he did hear me and wanted to hear me again. He said, "Who did you say?" I said, "I'm Malia Franklin's son from Parliament." And he backed up and he looked at me. And he was holding my hand with his little leather glove. And he said, "You look just like your mama."
That was so amazing.
And after that moment, I was in the atmosphere. I was part of the family. He was exchanging glances, and he knew who I was. He knew I wasn't just some
Oh, come on. Your family.
I wasn't just some hangers on.
It was wonderful.
So it was beautiful, and it was great, and I'm glad that I got a chance to do that. Yeah. So I think that my mother had her hand in that. My mother definitely from heaven had her hand in that, and made sure that meeting happened before he left here. So it's a beautiful thing. All right. E.G. wants to know, was it your idea to speak Spanish at the beginning of the sex shooter video?
Yes. I just started improvising, and I said some very bad things, and I can't believe that it's still there to this
What'd
day.
you say?
Oh my God! I said something like something about I hate you always steal my clothes and you never give them back to me, and you know, just nasty. He was like, "What'd you say?" I was like, "Find out." Translated. Yeah.
All right.
Sassy.
John Scott Anthony Photography wants to know, Apples, do you think they should do a movie on Prince's life?
I think they should. Rightly so. It should be done in the capacity of Rocket Man, Bohemian Rhapsody, and it should be done truthfully. All the good and all the bad.
Because there's always equal parts of both. You know, there's always equal parts of both.
Right.
And, you know, so, yeah. I mean, we're all flawed. All of us are flawed. So I think that the only way that it can be done is the truth has to be told.
Poetic justice
You
for
know,
him.
it's interesting because even for me, when I was writing Mothership Connected, you know, there were things that I had to write about my mom that, and this is my mother, but I had to keep it in context because I couldn't just put, oh, she's great, she can sing, she's so talented, she's this. I had to include all of the other underbelly and the stuff that wasn't so nice and wasn't so fun. So I had to as a writer, separate myself that and separate the fact that this is my mother.
Right.
I had to keep things in perspective that she did things that were really great and she did things that were not so great. And you know, it's really interesting because there's this whole thing with my mom, you know, and this whole Queen of Funk thing. And because she wasn't really known, because she wasn't really famous, other than me being a member of Parliament Funkadelic, you know, people really don't understand, well, why should Malia Franklin be called the Queen of Funk? And it's really interesting because, you know, you don't appreciate this, and this is a very fitting story for Mother's Day. You don't appreciate stuff like this until she's gone. Because when she was here, and she'd be all cocky, and I'd be like, Mom, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. But after she went on and I had to kind of dig into it for this book, and I had to be very logical. The reason that my mother is called the Queen of Funk, not just by people in Parliament Funkadelic, by people in the music industry that know her, is because my mother took George Clinton every hit maker he ever had. Bootsy Collins, Junie Morrison, and David Spradley, who did Atomic Dog. So when you think about that, if she had not have brought those people to George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic would have never existed as it did. The hits that Bootsy and George wrote together, which was pretty much every hit Parliament Funkadelic ever had. Junie Morrison did not just Knee Deep in One Nation Under a Groove and everything that was big then, and then David Spradley did Atomic Dog, okay? To take it even bigger, think about the thousands of samples that hip hop artists have used those songs that George wrote with Bootsy, Junie Morrison, and David Spradley. So if she had not have done what she had done, modern music would not be what modern music is. Would there be a Death Row Records? Would there be? Yes. Bernie Worrell too. Anthony Robinson, yes. Would there be a Death Row Records? Would there be a Snoop? Would there be a Dre? Would there be, if there hadn't have been a Parliament Funkadelic? And Parliament Funkadelic would not have existed as it did if it hadn't have been for Malia Franklin. Period. People may not like that, but that's the honest to God's truth,
Yep.
and that just is what it is. Now, ask me, does she get the kudos? Does she get the does she get the respect of doing those things? No, she doesn't. That's a whole nother story.
Yep.
And I'm going to do everything I can do, and then probably what we can do to make sure that that is not the case, because she did a lot.
The unsung hero.
So,
You know, I mean,
yeah.
you think about, you know, females back then in the industry, even females, today, what we've been going through. But
Yeah.
your mother went through so much, and she needs to be acknowledged. She needs to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
With everybody else in Parliament Funkadelic that
That's
got
right.
inducted, but she didn't get inducted.
That's right.
Nor did any woman from Parliament Funkadelic get inducted.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, the thing is you can even take it back to Parliament's influence on Prince.
Exactly.
So we can get even deeper. That's why he had so much love and respect for her, because he knew who she was and he knew what she did. And he appreciated her and he loved her.
Yep.
So, okay, I'm off my soapbox.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
All right. What is next? Kimberly DeGroot. Hope I said that right. Did you ever get an opportunity to meet Prince's parents? If so, what did you think of them?
Yes. John was adorable. He always had this smile. He had this smile. He was like, hey, how's it going? Hey. He was just like, just adorable. And it just made me think of what Prince would have been like at his age. Because I was like, I'd look at Prince and look at the dad. Which Prince, by the way, did the same, looking at my mom and looking at me. Then I got to spend time with Maddie, his mother. My name is Patty. She's Maddie. So we spent times together. I would tell Prince, so I just went to, you know, I flew out and visited your mom. And he was like, I didn't even see him or anything. And he didn't even know. And he was, you know, freaked him out. But she was wonderful. Sweet lady. I'd call her on the phone from my apartment in West Hollywood on Kings Road, and just lovely. We had Thanksgiving. I also got to hang out with Chick and have Thanksgiving with him and his family. So that was nice.
All right. Revolution 86 wants to know, were you nervous about doing the sex scene in Purple Rain?
Absolutely. If you see the love scene, you see on the side of my neck, because the camera was over to, my right, I tossed the hair over, so that otherwise, your face is covered up from the camera by your hair. And you can see I'm perspiring. There's a lot of perspiration. I was really nervous. And Prince was extremely nervous also. That's one thing that when you're on a set and you're doing a love scene, it's not something that's fun. I'm extremely shy, and so is he. So that was super, super tough. It was a closed set. And the one thing that I do have to say in his defense is that during the whole scene where I was topless, he just looked in my eyes. He never looked down at my chest or anything. And of course, I was aware of what he was doing, and that made me feel more comfortable sitting, looking at him and then leaning down to kiss him. So it was purely innocent. I know people say that there were, outtakes of, that there were real sex scenes. Albert Magnoli doesn't direct porn, and Prince would never do anything like that. And my parents would have killed me, especially my father. So, of course, it's what you see, that's all. I believe he was wearing on something on the bottom. And it was, like I said, perfectly innocent. And Al was right there with us. It was the three of us. So I felt safe because we had a great crew. And Prince was an absolute gentleman.
Okay. Okay, now we're getting a few inappropriate questions we're not going to answer. But they're interesting.
Oh, I could answer that one.
Oh, so Johnny Delgado, you're going to get your wish.
Was David Lee Roth a good lover? Yes, he was. I know, he was. He was in great shape. If you look at, he was doing katas on stage. He was practicing martial arts. And to me, he was my comic book character come to life. I have a huge crush on Thor, the comic book character. So he was my real life Thor. And yes, it was fantastic. We were like Tarzan and Jane.
All right. Tammy Moffat. Just a question for you,
Tammy.
Lady A. When you do come out with your shirts, will they be available in plus sizes? Of course.
Yes, absolutely.
Of course.
And then we want to do short sleeve and long sleeves.
Yes. We've got some nice ones. We're
Yeah.
going to be opening the store extremely soon, like probably by the next episode, maybe even before. We will let you guys know. And we've got some cool stuff. We've got Apollonia mug. We've got
Mask.
masks, limited edition, because I don't know how long we're going to use masks anymore.
I still wear mine
Get
all
them
the
while
time.
you can.
Yeah.
And t-shirts, really cool designs, and then we've got some other really great stuff coming up. They haven't even seen the red one yet.
Oh,
Oh yeah, we've got some great ones coming up. Okay. Okay. Tell us about, this is Eros 120. Tell us about the 80s rumor that the Grand Dame of Falcon Crest petitioned to have you off the show because you kept coming on set without underwear. My God.
Wow, so that's how you saw my balls?
Did that happen?
Is that a rumor? I never heard that one.
Oh, God.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I don't wear underwear. I don't believe in them. They're against my religion.
All
That's
right.
funny.
Chris Bernia, and I hope I'm saying that right.
Bornea.
Bernia.
Bornea.
Were there any Latina actresses you looked up to growing up, like Rita Hayworth, Raquel Welch, or Linda Carter?
Well, we never knew Linda Carter was Latina.
I didn't know Linda Carter was Latina.
Yes.
Oh.
But for me, it was Rita Moreno and, of course, Raquel Welch, who was Raquel Tejada. And unfortunately, in Hollywood, they made her change her name because, you know, you wouldn't get cast in a lot of roles. But that's my favorite, is Rita Moreno. She, to me, was my inspiration, definitely. Because she was the only one that I looked back and thought, there weren't any role models for me. I mean, you know, Lupe Velez, Dolores del Rio, Lucha Villa, but Rita Moreno.
All right. Airwatt Studio. Hello, beautiful.
Ah.
Will you ever get married again? And Seth, my hometown is Lansing, Michigan. Lansing.
Yay.
Michigan.
Awesome. Will I ever get married again? Oh my goodness. I don't know. It depends on what, you know, the future, the Lord. Right now I'm married to my work, so.
All right. Dr. J. Hill, no questions, Apples. Down here at Ray's having a snack, just enjoying the ride.
All right.
Enjoy the ride, J. Hill. We're glad
Awesome.
you're here.
Thanks for joining us.
Okay. Rob Rosales, did you ever play one-on-one with Prince? And if yes, who won? I'm assuming basketball.
Yes, we did. I beat him once. He didn't let me win because I was very aggressive and very competitive. I was raised with two brothers, so we would play around the world. Because then if we would play one-on-one, he would get really aggressive, and then I would get upset. Right? And the same with ping pong. He would just slam the ball. I was like, what are you doing? That's not how you play. You got to play back and forth. And then he would just like, what are you doing? Yeah, but he would just like slam the ball. And I was like, okay, you won.
All right. Jessica Wright wants to know, what was your relationship like with Vanity? Do we answer that here, or do we save that for the show?
I think we'd save that one for the show.
We're going to save that for the show.
Yeah, that's a whole story.
It's a whole story, but we're going to save that for the show.
It's interesting.
Jessica, thank you. We're gonna make sure that we do it on the next fan mails in the Studio 6, which will probably be in a couple of weeks. Okay. Okay, Retro Arcade Fire, tell us the Manic Monday story. How happy are you when you hear the song on the radio?
Oh my gosh. The first time I heard it on the radio, I went crazy. The song just came up from a day like today, Sunday. I always wanted a day after Sunday before Monday, my Smonday, my I don't have to run day. So Prince said, what? I said, there has to be a day in between Sunday and Monday, Smonday, my I don't have to run day. So he just had me right. When I hear it, it makes me happy. Because it makes me think of, you know, Sundays to me were always like tough because I have to get up and go to school on Mondays. I know most kids were excited to go to school, But since my family and I moved around a lot, you know, it was always like homesick going to school. You know, psychological problems.
All right, let's see. Shanna Naggins, 14. She just wanted to say that she loves and admires you so much.
Thank
You're
you,
still so
Shannon.
beautiful and exude class. Thank you for all of your contributions to music and film.
Thank you so much, Shannon. You've made my entire year.
And I see you over there, Pandora, on Instagram. I see you over there.
Hey.
I see you. All right. Let's see. Mark Bennett loves your solo album, still has it.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you?
Thank you.
Doja Cat wants to know, do you still have any of the Apollonia 6 corsets from Purple Rain?
Yes, I have everything. Corsets. It's just really kind of crazy. The other day, Seth and I were going through my archives, my storage, and looking through clothes, and he was freaking out. And then I started freaking out because I found the socks.
Oh, yeah.
I found Prince's socks. I have like 3-4 pairs. And we were, you know, on set, he would wear them, and they were this certain fabric. They were really shiny. He goes, they hurt my feet. So he'd take them off, and he goes, here, you could have them. So then I'd put them on, and then we switched socks a couple times because they gave me like black nylons. Like, so that, yeah. Yeah, I do have everything, pretty much.
Yeah. And on the next episode of Fan Mail, just like on the first one, we'll be revealing another piece of Purple Rain costume that everybody
Might recognize.
might recognize. All right.
His socks.
Do you still have the cape you wore throughout Purple Rain?
I believe, yes, I do.
Okay. Do you like rap, Apollonia? And who would you date, rappers? This is Roth Studio.
Oh my gosh, do I rap? I rapped a little bit in Spanish. We said, nuestro amor nos da calor como amor de película. Lo mejor en la vida siempre termina. No sé por qué. A veces me dices que no. Mi corazón me dice que sí. Mismatch. Who would I date? Rapper?
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
Drake?
Drake? Drake's sexy. That's a good question. I'm not really sure right now. Yeah.
And KNM Lover had the question about the cape. I'm sorry, I didn't say your name before. All right. Prince Rogers Nelson wants to know.
Oh!
Was Prince nervous for the Purple Rain premiere?
Yes, he was terrified. You could see in his face when he was walking in. His eyes would get big. And to me, it had that look like he was going to cry. You know, the eyes would get big. He was terrified because we thought nobody was going to show up. That's what we thought. I go, what if nobody shows up? He goes, I know. We talked about it a couple days prior. I go, well, we're going to be there. We'll be there.
All right. And they were. All right, guys, it's 6:59 and we still have tons of questions. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take these remaining questions and we're going to answer them on the next episode of Fan Mail, number 2, on Apollonia Studio 6. So we'll make sure that nobody is looked over.
Right.
And we appreciate you so much for coming and spending this Sunday afternoon
Happy Mother's Day.
with us. Happy Mother's Day. And thank you for watching. Continue to watch, share, subscribe, like. Make sure that you get all your friends to
I was just going to say
subscribe.
Tell your friends, because otherwise we won't have a show.
Right. Get everybody to subscribe so we can continue to give you great content, and we'll just make it bigger and better and
whatever you want it to be.
Yes.
We just want to make you happy. And thank you so much for supporting us.
yes. And
so much.
And we have some amazing guests in the pipeline. Some of our Purple family, some from the movie family, the record industry family, some of my P-Funk family. So it's going to be a great ride, and we're going to keep on giving you great content. We are midway in season 1. So we've got 8 more episodes in season 1, and then we'll start preparing for season 2. So subscribe, like, comment, watch, and we will see you next time. I'm
Thank
Mr.
you.
Seth.
I'm Apollonia. Thank you. Remember to share love.
Yes.
Stay in peace. Love one another. We
Yes.
love you. Thank you.
We love you so much, and we will see you guys soon. Bye.